from before we do intros. He likes to see us.
Yeah, any
settled.
bloopers that are funny, I say leave. But if it's like,
Okay, so welcome back to Big Girl Britches podcast with we have a special guest today.
Yes,
it is Katlyn Morrow.
Hello.
So
I'm excited to be here. You can wave.
You can wave. I
You
forget
said
that people
Katlyn and
can
I went-
watch it. Yeah. So if you're watching on Spotify or if you're listening on Apple,
Yes.
That's the difference between the two. You can actually watch the video on Spotify, and then we're over on Apple, just audio only. So Katlyn, we really wanted to ask her on as one of our very first guests because Katlyn does a lot of things, wears a lot of hats, and that's what we talk about. You don't just have to be like a straight up brick and mortar business owner.
No.
You can be, and like I feel like realtor is like sort of a mesh of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
No,
far as
absolutely.
business owner
Yeah.
goes because you're in charge of literally your own schedule and
Right.
your income relies on your productivity
Oh,
directly.
yeah. No, I don't get paid unless I sell something.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
that's heavy in the
Yeah.
the own your own business thing.
yeah.
Are you technically self-employed as a realtor?
Yep.
Okay.
$10.99. Probably just much like a hairdresser.
Yeah.
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 Well, and last week we talked about we touched a little bit on community because I had asked Lacey the same question as what I'm going to ask you too. I had asked Lacey what was the best thing you ever did for your business, and she said getting involved in her community.
Yeah.
And joining the chamber, she said joining the chamber, and I was
I
like,
know. I giggled.
Really?
I heard that. I giggled. I was like,
and then she said,
okay.
well, getting involved in the community, and I was like, okay, well that makes so much more
like
sense.
joining the chamber and getting involved in the community are one and the same in my mind because they. I mean, every week I have emails sent out that's like, hey, this is what we're doing. If you want to show up, you can do this. Blah,
There's
blah,
so
blah,
much
blah.
stuff going on.
Like, and then if we wanted to host something, we just reach out to y'all and we're like, hey.
And they put it out there.
Yeah, they put it out there. So it really does help. It's not, you don't have to join the chamber to be involved.
Right.
But it does help.
Yeah.
But I think it motivates you too.
Yeah, it
'Cause
does motivate you.
You see what everybody else is kind of like.
So the
getting
newsletter that's
involved.
been going out, I've been a
What
part of
newsletter?
the chamber newsletter,
What chamber newsletter?
the Beauregard Chamber of Commerce
Do we
chamber
get one of
newsletter.
those?
You do get one of those
Email?
because you're a member. You do.
So I don't check our emails. Fun
Your
fact.
girls do. Yeah.
The girls check the
Yeah.
emails, so then they mark things, they flag them
Yep.
for me to read. So now I need to tell them
You need to see
to
that.
flag
So
the chamber.
to flag the
I
chamber.
knew that there's a lot of things happening in the community, but I didn't really know until I saw it on paper.
Right.
Of like,
Yeah.
wham, bam, 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 bam. Here's all these things that you can do. I mean, there was stuff happening that I'm like, I didn't even know that was even happening.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I guess we should
gotta check
tell
that out.
everybody. She's talking about the chamber because
Yep.
Katlyn is the president this year.
Yep.
Now, is it a fiscal year, January to December presidency?
Yeah, fiscal year.
Okay.
So, Ms. President over here, Madam President, is
You can
over
just
the
call me
Beauregard
Katlyn.
Parish Chamber of Commerce. I don't know if we're keeping that, what your predecessor laid before you with the
No,
whole
you
Mr.
can just,
President
you
thing.
can call me Caitlin.
The previous president had called himself Mr.
Mr. President.
Every
Yep.
single thing. Okay, so Katlyn is the president. Like the two main things I know Katlyn for, because Katlyn and I are friends now. She is the first person I ever met here
Yep.
because we moved here, and
I was
she
her first friend.
was
Fun
our
fact.
realtor, first friend, and realtor. She introduced us to, and if you live in Leesville, I still love you. But that was not the place for us. We started looking for homes in Leesville
Yep.
and surrounding areas, and I was like, is there something better? Maybe closer, better? And she was like, we can always come to DeRidder. And I was like, take me there right meow. Because we were staying at this little place, and I'm sure do you remember the hotel?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he was like, I remember Darrell came up from breakfast. He was going to go check out the breakfast buffet.
Oh.
And I know, yeah. And he
In
came back
Leesville?
in Leesville. And I don't want to say the name
No,
because
no,
they're
I'm
a
just
business.
Okay. Yep. Mhm.
So he came back to the hotel room. I'm getting ready. And he said, we're just going to go have breakfast somewhere else. And I was like, why? And then he you know what parents do. We have little
Yeah.
sidebars from our children. And so he sidebarred over here and he goes, they're dealing drugs over bacon.
Oh, man.
And I was like, okay, all right. So I guess we're going to go somewhere else. But those are the two things I know Katlyn for is being a realtor and being the president of the Chamber of Commerce. But I have questions. Listen, I wrote things down while I was at the gym this morning. Okay, so first thing I want to ask is, what do you get paid to do, which we probably already know.
Yeah, so real estate, that's my job. Like I said, I only get paid if I sell something. So in the months that are slow, which here, the way our market moves, we move with the military. And being prior military, you understand. Springtime, summertime
It's busy.
is when they're moving. So like fall, into fall, Christmas time is kind of a slower time. So if I'm not working, I'm not getting paid.
Right.
But that's my job. So that's what I get paid for. The non-paid things are any of the volunteer stuff I do.
You were supposed to let me ask you that question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you not get paid for? So, no, I have another question, though, of things because some realtors, I feel like, do property management maybe, or like rental things or something?
Yeah, some do. I don't.
You don't do that.
So, no, I just do
Well, I'm
sales.
also kind of trying to plug for you, like, if anybody needs a realtor or...
I would love to help.
So, you obviously can't help renters.
No, but I have a team. So, like, anyone looking for a rental, like, I have a team that I direct them to. Yeah, so...
Okay,
Not
cool.
to,
like
plug
an
super
in-house
hard,
team.
but I'm just trying to help people because I've used Katlyn for multiple properties, so...
So, usually... in the real estate world, like you have commercial business, residential business, and rentals. And most of your residential salespeople don't venture into rentals, like your brokers and stuff do. But like you're just regular salespeople, they just list and sell.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So now, Katlyn, what do you
Overachiever trying to answer your questions.
What do you do that you do not get paid to do? Okay, there you go.
Okay, so any of the volunteer stuff I do, like being the president of the chamber, that's not a paid gig. So like, all these businesses have ribbon cuttings, like your birthday celebration, like we go to those things.
Listen, you went to that because you wanted to go to
I
that?
did want to go.
You did not go to that because
Let's clarify.
No, I did want to go, and of course, because it was for you. But like those kind of things, like we don't get paid for that.
Yeah.
Like driving there, spending the time, like meeting with businesses.
Okay, I didn't know that. I assumed you got
get
paid for something being part of the chamber. Okay.
I get paid in joy and happiness and seeing my community grow. But no,
can I just say right now how much we have grown?
We have grown.
Like,
and
I'm so excited.
It's big. Like, I mean, it's a big thing. Like, there's so much controversy in like, oh, this business is coming, wah wah wah. This business isn't coming, wah wah wah.
Right.
There's never going to be a good happy medium where everybody's pleased.
Yeah.
But I look at like controversial. There is a company coming here. And people are worried about the two small businesses that sell the same thing.
Why don't you just say it?
Starbucks. So okay. Starbucks is coming.
Lots of worry. Knows now.
Everybody knows. So lots of worry of, the two small businesses.
I am not worried.
Cats and Coffee Connection. And I'm not worried either because and look, I'm a woman of God. So I know God is going to give those two people, the customers that they've always had, those customers are going to be loyal. Yeah. Starbucks is going to get people that go in there. They just are. It's just the nature of the game.
Starbucks.
It's the nature of the game.
Completely. So from somebody who works in marketing, I am going to tell you, and I told this to I told this to Debbie. She owns the Coffee Connection, small business. I told her, I said, you need to understand that you have a completely different clientele. You have a completely different feel. Yep. You do not have a drive-through. People come in for the experience. And I'm not just saying that to be like, you offer something different. Yeah. I'm not just saying that. There is a completely different demographic of people who literally will not get out of their car if they can't get something.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that untapped demographic is what it is. Yep. It is completely untapped. Yep. And that large corporation coming in will serve the community that demographic serves right there, is the people who don't want to get out of their car and just want to go, which is fine because in a small town, once you start becoming infused with corporations that come in like that and invest in your community, and I know, they're there for, a reason, the bottom dollar.
Absolutely.
And not all small businesses are there for the bottom dollar.
Sure.
Man, I didn't start my business to get rich.
No, yeah.
I started my business because I freaking love it to my core.
Yeah.
But they are bringing in a whole new demographic of people who are going to come here. There's not a Starbucks. Until you get to Alexandria, an hour and 10 minutes away, or Charles, an hour and 10 minutes away, you don't have one.
No.
So all those people who are 30 minutes away, who are just looking for an excuse to come to town, are going to come.
No, You're right. The business owner part of me is excited for Starbucks.
Oh, yeah.
Because it like you said, it's bringing in more, but I didn't even think about that part. there isn't one for a while. So,
like, all those people out in East Bow, all those people out at South Bow, all the people who live in, like, New Lano, like, there's a Starbucks on Post, but you have to have ID to get on Post. It's not it's not convenient.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have to go in.
You have to go in.
There's no drive-through.
So there's going to be a whole lot more people coming into DeRidder, period.
So anybody who ever says anything negative to me about, like, well, Debbie's your friend, it's a small business. Oh, I love Debbie, and she's going to do fabulous because she is such a vibe. You know,
it's an experience there. Yeah.
But it is good for our community to grow.
It's bringing jobs.
It is bringing jobs, you know, and
good
like,
paying jobs.
I'm a small business advocate, like, but I'll tell you what, even Walmart provides jobs for our neighbors. Yeah. So listen, I'm here for it. Okay. So what else do you do that you don't get paid to do?
So outside of the chamber, I have cut away a lot of things.
Why?
Stress. Just couldn't manage it.
Do you mean you're talking about balance right now?
Yeah. Just so balancing everything. And I'll just be very honest. I was in, actually probably when I met you, I was in a lot of things. Served on several boards, was part of different women's organizations. And it got to a point where I couldn't balance out.
I would see you and I would see stress on your face.
Oh, absolutely. But I couldn't balance out, like, the in like what we were doing. I mean, because just to be frank, like that's my core. Like I like serving people.
Yes.
But what were you? What activities were you not finding joy? Like, was it specific activities?
I think it was environments, like being in environments where you were not with like-minded people.
Mm.
Okay.
And, you know, at the beginning, it was like, man, this is awesome. Like, I love being a part of this. And, like, I was known for being a part of those things until it got to a point where I was going because it was I don't want to call it a job, but I was going because it was a job, an obligation. And I wasn't happy with it anymore. And so, like, I'm not a no girl. Like, I'm your yes girl. You called me and I'm like, absolutely, I'll do whatever you need.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It got to a point where I was like, man, like, I'm just not feeling this anymore. And I'm just going with the vibes and going with the flow. And so, like, me cutting that away, like, the first thing I cut away, I was sick for, like, 2 days. Upset stomach, like, nauseous. Just like, holy cow, I'm letting people down.
Yeah.
But then at my core, it was like...
Your body was acclimating.
But at my core, it was like, man, like, you have to take care of yourself. Like, you can't take care of other people if you're not taking care of yourself.
No.
And just having so many, like, irons in the fire, like, I had hats for days of stuff, you know, and I could just toss a hat and pick a hat. And now I have just a few hats. Yeah. You know, like, first and foremost, like, being a mom, like, I have 2 kids, you know, and so when I got into all these things, at first I had 1 kid.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was easy.
And then
like,
Peyton came along and she was like,
she rocked my world.
Guess what you ain't gonna do today? Anything you planned on.
Rocked my world. Like, I thought I was going to be late today.
Like Olive.
It is 100th day of school. And
it's
so
that last kid, man.
She didn't want to be a granny today.
It's 100th day of school.
100th day of school. So today's granny day, and she was
you were cramping her style, man.
Feeling it.
So she didn't dress up?
She did, though. She needed like 20 minutes to whine about it, and then she was cool. And now
maybe she's just not a morning person. Is she a morning person?
She's a morning person on her own time. Like, if you let her wake up, she's the bride. Like,
oh, she a diva.
Oh, yeah.
It's that last baby.
Last baby. Absolutely last baby. But so, like, doing all these things with kids, with a family, you know, I mean, look, I was tired. Like, I was pouring into other people and not pouring into my children.
Do you feel better now?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
How long has that been since you started? I mean, you started cutting away. I know you told me probably like a year and a half.
No, longer than that.
Longer than that? You're probably in the midst of cutting more things away.
Peyton's almost 5.
Yeah.
And I started cutting her first year of being alive.
So, dang.
So,
4 years.
4.5 years ago. Yeah.
No, you were still cutting away like I think a year and a half ago when I was talking to you about it.
So now it's just, I work, you know, do real estate. I'm a part of the chamber. And I'm a part of my church. And that's it. Like, those are my 3 things.
Yeah.
And I've been asked to join other things, and I'm like, man, it's just not the season of life for me right now.
Yeah.
I burnt myself out, like, in all honesty. Doing for others and not for myself, which sounds very selfish, which is very hard for me to swallow.
I don't listen. That when people filled out the form,
yeah,
we did like the Google form for people to fill out. And you can ask questions, you can ask us to weigh in on a situation.
Yeah.
You can like sponsor the podcast, whatever. But then you can also, request topics.
Sure.
And almost like I went ahead and and counted. And I think we had I stopped counting after we hit 12.
Yeah.
Like 12 requests for talking about balance between work and home and all that. And it's not just people who own businesses. We own a business and we have that, all those hats to it. But I mean, people who are like PTA leaders, chamber members, like if you own a business, if you're like spending any amount of time at a 9 to 5, like especially ones that you bring home that workload every single day. I miss the days when you didn't have to bring work home with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when you own a business, you're 24/7, 365. You don't get a day off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of miss that. Although I'm the best boss I've ever had.
Sure.
So I'll never go back to like,
no, absolutely.
anything else that dictates my schedule.
I don't know what I would do if I had a boss again.
I legitimately try to be the best boss I can because I know how like shitty it is to have a shitty boss.
Yeah.
I said I was going to try to not curse on this podcast, but that's
you had to.
Episode 2. I made it an episode and a half. Dylan says I got you.
Just put like a
it's fine. But I genuinely, I got back from, I think we talked about this last time. I got back from market and got the girls like gift certificates or whatever. I try to buy a table at every damn event we have so that I'm like, here girls, like come to the event and like have extracurriculars. Yeah. Cause I want it to be fun, man.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And I think that's the whole balance thing. Like and I tell people this all the time. Yeah. I tell the girls at work this who work for me. So they're probably like, we need to make sure Brittany has fun all the time. But I'm constantly telling people, like, the day this stops becoming fun for me.
It's not worth it anymore.
It's not worth it anymore. I'll just sell it, take my check to the bank.
That's exactly how I felt.
Something else.
It wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah. But, like, don't think, like, I know you either have a business to pass it on to, just like anything, wealth, like, success, anything. Like, you're doing that either to pass it along to your children as, like, a legacy. Or to get yourself a check, like at the end of the day. And I want this to pass it on to my kids. But honestly, the day that it takes over and it becomes like not fun, I'll just head down to Chase Bank. Deposit my check. I will.
Shout out to Chase Bank.
Shout out to Chase Bank. Okay, so then I have a couple more questions. I'm sorry. If you had questions prepared, Lacey, I'm monopolizing
the question. I'm like,
no, I don't have questions prepared.
Okay, so, and I asked this to Lacey, and she asked me last time, and I'm going to pass, and I think these are good questions for people. Like, we want to know. Mm-hmm. Okay, in your business, what you get paid to do, okay, what did you do right? Like, what's the best thing you ever did for your business?
So, and I hope this is not cliche, but treating it like a business.
No, it's not cliche at all.
So, in my realm and in my world, you do all these things, and where I went wrong in the very beginning was, I wanted my name out there. Like, obviously I'm from here, so like people knew Katlyn Morrow. Mm-hmm. They knew that, but they didn't know me as a realtor. So it was like, I will pay for everything that needs to be sponsored. I will do all these things, get my name out there. And I realized I was doing all this. Yeah, it's getting my name out there, but I wasn't seeing a lot in return.
Because you figured the advertising would just do the work for me.
Yes. So I wasn't seeing a lot in return. So
I see that often.
It was more or less, and this is where my people-pleasing traits were coming out. It was like, oh, you needed a sponsor? Sure, here's $100. Here's $500. Here, whatever. And I'll be honest, I didn't track any of that. It was just like, I'm just doing.
You didn't track any
doing my thing.
Who was your CPA at the time?
Man, I don't even remember. Whenever I
you
got
probably
started,
didn't have
I have
one.
no clue. No, I did. We've always had a CPA, but that's been 8 years ago. Next month makes 8 years.
Since you started real estate?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh, congratulations. When is it? Next month?
March 1st.
Are you going to have a birthday party?
I mean, I don't know. Should I?
That's my birthday month too.
I know.
Okay, so we're sitting about the same. I'm about 7 years in hair, so we're sitting like about the same.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
March
cool.
1st, 2017. I was official.
That actually is a good point because I feel like a lot of folks starting out, because remember I posted a week or two ago the statistic about how many people make it in business. and then also how many people like ever turn a profit.
Sure.
I think people starting out in whatever industry that they're starting out in,
they're
probably thinking they're going to be an instant success overnight.
Well, and real estate is not one of those careers.
And I thought of Katlyn, not just Katlyn, but like I did think of, I thought of you first because you wear so many hats, but also I asked for you to be here for like community over competition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we touched on that last episode. But then also because there are, I mean, let me just, for reference of nobody who's from here, like if you're not from this town.
We have so many realtors.
We have so many realtors. And we were talking about like the residents per cat, whatever. We have like 13,000 now residents in DeRidder. I mean, obviously some of us I live in Rose Pine.
Yeah.
You know, you live out in Egypt.
I live here in DeRidder.
I'm just kidding. But like, where was my thought process going in this?
How many realtors?
Oh, there's so many. Sorry, I'm
you
so
said I live
squirrel.
in Egypt, and I respond with, I live in DeRidder.
So from a statistic standpoint, okay, so
many.
our market, so as a realtor, you can be a primary member with an association or a secondary member. So our primary members with the Greater Fort Polk Realtor Association is like 96 people.
Now, when you say primary, that's what they do for a living mainly?
I don't want to say yes to that.
Okay.
So when you have your license, you have to hang it with a broker. Like you have to hold your license with a broker.
I interrupted you with a question.
It's okay.
How many realtors did you say?
Primary is 96.
96.
So like primary and secondary, I think we're at like 152.
Wow.
Which could
realtors?
be, so like, yeah. So
you
do
this for a living.
Mm-hmm. So like your secondary could be like realtors from Lake Charles or Alexandria, like that want access to here. But so 96 primary people that are like here.
In this area. So that's Vernon, Beauregard, Fort Polk, Fort Johnson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we still have the Fort Polk name. We never changed that.
That's okay.
But so...
I mean, I feel like that takes people to vote on and then pass it.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. It was a process. But so, like, there are just so many realtors. And I'll be honest, probably in this area, it's like the most cutthroat business to be in. Kind of like car salesmen. I think we're neck and neck with some car salesmen. Real estate is one of the most cutthroat businesses.
Do you want to know something funny?
Yeah.
Lacey doesn't know this.
No.
I mean, Caitlin's the other person in the conversation. Now Caitlin's over here going, oh my God, what are you going to show?
I want to know. Tell me more.
So I live in I'm not going to say what neighborhood I live in because that's weird on the internet. But like I live in a neighborhood where we have like 2.5 acre parcels in our whole neighborhood. I think some of them maybe have like 1.5 acres.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you have like
larger lots.
Larger lots. Yeah. Look at the realtor in here. She's like,
so you're not like on top of each other.
Yeah.
You have some space.
You can't spit on your neighbor.
Exactly. So, but it's obvious. I mean, I feel like I promote Katlyn all the time. Like, you know who my realtor is that I use. Although I'm friends with everybody. I'm friends with tons of realtors because I think everybody's amazing. Honestly, I know so many good ones. But I promote her all the time, and we live in a neighborhood where we already also have like 3 or 4 real estate agents who live
there
in the neighborhood. And so every time I get a pamphlet, Caitlin's already laughing.
Where this was going.
Every time I get a pamphlet in the mail, because I know how like cutthroat, you know, and how many realtors there are, I'll get a pamphlet that'll be like, hi, Brittany, you know, and then it says like, have you like checked your valuation lately for your home or whatever? Like I'll get like all sorts of stuff from realtors.
Yeah.
And then I will send pictures to Katlyn, and I'm like, just so you know, someone's trying to poach me. I'm not going anywhere.
That is so funny. Wait, so your house, so that's funny. So in a subdivision, you get mail that's like, do you want to sell your home?
Yes.
I've mailed stuff out before.
Because, so I'm in Rose Pine.
Right.
And
people
that
want to
is,
live there.
everybody wants to live in Rose Pine. And everybody wants a 4-bedroom house in Rose Pine. And guess how many bedrooms I have?
4.
Okay, so they look
and
at
you
me.
can
also
look
has
at
a
the
pool.
address. And I have a pool. It's in my front yard, though. You don't want it.
Hey, I'm coming over this summer.
It has a little waterfall thing, too.
Oh,
it's kind of cool.
It's cute.
It is in the front, and my house does look like a cartel house, though. You literally walk up, and you're like, someone's dealing drugs on this property. It does look like that. It's got like some terracotta orange happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it has a wall around it, like a brick wall. Like I have a brick wall surrounding, so
and a gate. She can like close.
We have a wrought iron gate that you like have to
Yeah.
come through to get to the front door, which has a massive terracotta like stucco representation on the front with a lion's head at the top. Like it's
regal.
But like a white guy built it. So like, and he put terracotta flooring in my house, which is
intrigued.
it's called saltillo tile. Is that what it's called?
I think
so. Saltillo
Yeah,
tile, where it looks like coyote footprints are in it. So when we first moved into our house, I was like, oh my God, I think this is like concrete, but they let their dog walk around somehow when it was like not dry. And he goes, my husband's like, you're a like that saltillo tile. And those are like fake coyote like paw prints in the flooring. So my house is like super Mexican, which is appropriate, like, because Darryl is from Arizona. So, oh my gosh. And then, okay, so Darryl's from Arizona. This is hilarious.
It needs my little cowboy spin in there.
So it would work perfectly.
Yeah.
But, like, so we bought this house. Darryl fell in love with it instantly because he was like, oh, it feels like home. Instantly. And he hated everything, okay? Like, he hated
every house or
every house we were in, he hated. We get here to this place that I think cost more than the other ones too, but it had a pool in the front yard, okay, which was weird because it's in a courtyard. Like, nobody can see.
But you wouldn't
know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
Okay, I see.
It has a courtyard and a brick wall around it.
I was thinking like pool, house,
but it's like we saw it. He loved it. And we have always told the kids, this is hilarious. You will love this. We have lied to our children, but unintentionally. It's just always been a joke. We have told them that Daryl's half Mexican. Yeah. Okay. Well, a couple years ago, we started doing like these ancestry DNA things. Well, I had mine done long before Daryl, and he got his done. And the kids are like anxiously anticipating the results of this. And they're like, how much, what is the number? Like the percentage, they show you like percentages.
Yeah.
And they said, what's the number for Mexico? And Daryl's like, what are you talking about?
Absolutely none.
And he's like, what are you talking about? And she goes, Dad, you're half Mexican. And he goes, oh my God, you thought we were serious? Our children legitimately have gone around telling people that Daryl is half Mexican. So they're like a quarter Mexican. I'm like, nah, baby girl. You white. Your daddy's a gringo. But he is from Arizona, and he makes.
Gringo.
Yeah, well, we've always said he was half Mexican because the man is from Arizona, and he cooks.
Amazing.
Like, he cooks like Mexican cuisine like you would not even believe. I get high quality, like burritos, breakfast burritos,
chef's kiss,
chorizo.
You have a pool of Mexican food, and your house looks like Mexico.
Why would you ever want to leave?
Yeah, like
do you want to tell her what the bed in that house used
to be?
God. A water bed?
Everybody's gonna go searching the internet for my house now.
I want a water bed.
Okay, so listen.
Look, fun fact. I remember her address. So I'm a weirdo. I remember where people live. When I saw your house, like, I just know. Like, I could spit off her address like nobody's business.
You probably put it on forms 9,700 times.
Absolutely. But the bed, that was
okay, so
that was a fun one.
The house was, and I think that was the original, like the builder was the owner, yes?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Okay, so in this house, I pray to God these people don't listen to this podcast. In this home, they had this spaceship shower.
Yes, you showed me that.
Did I show you that?
Yes, you showed me that.
Okay.
I forgot the spaceship shower.
The spaceship shower.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted that house with that in it because like I think they mold really bad. Like it's sealed. So you can you can have like a bath in it. The door seals and locks, so you can take a bath in it.
Floating.
And then there's jets from either side, and there's like a TV in it. There's like speakers in it. Like it was crazy high tech looking, like it was from like Back to the Future.
Yeah.
But I think they mold really bad or something. I don't know, but it was gone by the time we bought the house. So that was in it originally, and then also there was a swinging bed, like anchored to the ceiling. And to this day, like when I'm laying in bed, I can look up and see. That was a choice. You can see where the
call it a swinging bed.
It did though. It was hung by chains.
Kind of like I think it was rope. I think it was a rope, kind of like a porch swing would like.
Yeah.
hang.
So it moves.
I would get a running start from that shower, man.
Wham into the wall.
But then I would have no sheetrock.
It was unique. It certainly was. But I know they had to redo it in order to sell it because nobody wanted it. They all probably walked in and went, okay, this is a weird vibe. We're gonna have
so
to
now
leave.
she lives in the cartel house.
So now, yeah. Well, no, that was in the, yeah.
Yes.
And now I live in it. Yeah. No, I live there.
I'm so sorry. I thought she said the Cardinal House.
The
Cartel
Where
do Cardinals fit
No, but everybody knows
footprints?
it. And if you live in my neighborhood, everybody calls it the Taco Bell house.
Okay.
Because it looks like Taco Bell. You can see it when you enter the neighborhood, and I live like 4 roads down, bro.
Oh, I'm turning down that road, man. I'm turning and I'm looking.
It's orange, like
I'm
terracotta.
looking.
You won't miss it.
I won't miss it, and I love it.
You'll be able to see it.
Because we're not, that's the one rule. He was like, I really don't care what you talk about on the podcast. This was my husband. He was like, but can we not tell our address? And like,
I know there's a couple things Dylan has had to crop out that I've divulged to the world so that they'll never hear.
Yeah.
And Daryl's like, oh yeah, I heard about that thing. Because Dylan ratted me out.
Dylan!
He did. He came in for lessons and he goes, I know what you edited out of your podcast. And I was like, I was going to.
Stitches.
That's right. They do. Snitches get stitches, Dylan. We thought you were one of us. What'd you say?
I said I'm on the recording button.
But so on my way home, if I choose a certain way, I'm going to look for the Taco Bell house.
Yeah, that's where I live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not for any other reason, but I want to see it.
I love how we got off on this diatribe of like
the Taco Bell house.
It's okay. I think this is what people like.
Maybe. I hear people, they're like, oh my gosh, I love the podcast. I'm like, because I didn't listen to it.
Oh, yeah.
Did you listen? You listened to it?
Yeah.
I didn't listen to it because I can't stand the sound of my own voice.
We sound nice, though. We don't sound... Because I thought I would sound like cornbread.
I don't care what I sound. I just hate hearing my own voice
Right.
and knowing people are... Like, Darryl will let the kids watch one of my lives, and I'll walk into the house, and they're still watching the tail end of it. Like, a replay of a live when I come home.
Yeah.
And I'll hear my voice, and I'm like, turn that off immediately. I cannot listen to that.
So I usually sound 12. So I'm already anticipating like what this is going to sound like.
They're like, they had a child on. It
How
was
old is
weird.
They said no boys allowed, but apparently they like kids.
Okay, so I asked you, did we cover, like, what did you do?
I don't know, did we cover it?
What did you do, the best thing you ever did?
Oh, so obviously treating it like a business and then setting healthy boundaries. Mm-hmm. So like in real estate.
Boundaries is another hot button word
so
from those forms. In
real estate, like one of the things I had gotten told like right in the beginning was like be a Pop-Tart agent.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Don't be or be?
To be a Pop-Tart agent.
Okay.
So think of a Pop-Tart, you put it in a toaster, poop, pop, it pops out. So like when people call, you go like immediately.
Oh, be a Pop-Tart realtor.
Pop-Tart.
Is that a common phrase that
That's
people
a phrase,
know?
yeah. So one of the podcasts I listen to, it's a realtor podcast.
Yeah.
They have like little stickers and it's like a Pop-Tart and it's like, don't be a Pop-Tart. Because like, so essentially like time block yourself, which I know you're like a huge advocate of.
Love time
but
blocking.
So setting boundaries, setting times, like don't feel like, basically don't let your clientele run you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You set the boundary,
we could do
set
an
the pace.
entire episode on boundaries.
Yeah, so one of the things that I did was like, I mean, I could stay up all night doing things real estate. Like literally I could just stay awake and do, I cut things off. So like, unless it's time pressing, like I have a time at the end of the day where I'm like, okay, I really don't need to do anything. I need to hang out with my family.
Yes.
And that stems from missing so much doing for other people. So now, like, unless it's time pressing, I mean, if you send me an offer and I have to respond by 8 p.m., like, I'm going to respond to you, you know, obviously. But if it's something like that can wait until the morning, you know, if someone calls me, hey, I don't know, 8 o'clock at night, I want to see this house tomorrow. I mean, I don't have to schedule it. I mean, I don't have to do a whole lot.
Yeah.
We can schedule it tomorrow, you know, like something like that.
But then do they bug you every 2 hours and be like, hey, did you get my message?
Hit or miss. So you just have to communicate with your people. So like if someone were to text me like at 9 o'clock and say, hey, like I want to see this house, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'll just say, oh yeah, thanks. No, we'll schedule it tomorrow. You know, in the morning I'll get with somebody. Because likely at 9 o'clock at night, someone's not answering your phone call.
Bro.
Yeah.
Do you know how often I don't answer now because I do those boundary things and I will not, like, there's no such thing as a dress emergency. Like, and if if your package is lost at 9 o'clock at night on a Saturday, it's still gonna be lost on Monday morning at 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So I will like not answer.
Yeah.
Because the girls check my messages anyway. So if I check it and respond, they're gonna see that as they don't need to do anything with it. So I won't do anything with it because like I can't. Number one. Yeah. Number two, the girls do that at the shop. And then number three, I'm taking away from family time.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But I will get some who just like 4, 5, 6 hours later, the very next morning or whatever, they will email, they will text, they will like message. I'm like, we gotta have boundaries.
Yeah, no, you have to.
Got to. So if you're watching this, and you like to send me messages every 4 hours, don't. The girls will get with you, I promise.
Yeah.
Okay, so boundaries and
treating it like a business. So like a business. One thing, okay, so in the beginning, I paid, I don't know how much money, but paid money. It was like, oh, you need a sponsor, you need this, you need that, and I would just do it.
Right.
You need a gift for this.
Same. Because I love the kids.
I am a sucker for kids.
Children and sports. Like, that's my thing. Is like, because some people won't put their kids in because they can't afford it.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Because it gets expensive. It's not just the $75 registration fee.
Yeah, it's all the things that go with it.
Yeah. So I will totally, like, sponsor a team, sponsor a player or whatever. Like, you just do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you do about it? Did you not do that anymore?
I'm selective.
Really?
Yep.
How are you? This is
the juicy.
This is the juicy stuff that we're all wanting to hear.
And as a business owner, I'm sure you know, it's like I get requests a lot, even from people I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, hey, such and such gave me your name. Here's our sponsorship form. Whatever. Blah blah blah. If I'm close to you, like likely I will sponsor you.
Yeah.
If I see so I have to, in this, like, kind of hurt me at first because it was like I just want to give everything I have. But I had to start looking at, okay, if I'm sponsoring a sign at, let's just say, a football field, like, how many views is that getting me? Like, is it seen? I mean, I had to look at my return on investment. Like, what is it helping? Is it someone, that I know, not know? Instead of just someone off the wall, hey,
Are you?
Which really hurt. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It was like, I just want to give to everything.
All the kids.
I mean, I'd give my shirt off my back to somebody.
Right.
Right.
So it was kind of hard, but I just had to teach myself, like, you can't give
bankrupt
everything.
Yourself
exactly. You bankrupt yourself.
Yep. And I hate to be like offend people, but like, and we had to cut a little story out of our last because I didn't want to be like negative.
Sure. Yeah.
I never want to be negative.
Yeah.
No. It's not my goal, but like, I think people really underestimate the fact that it's hard as a small business for us to continuously invest into people who are not investing into us.
Yeah.
I can't continue to serve you in all the ways that I would love to serve you.
Sure.
If you don't actually ever shop or promote, and you don't have to shop.
Yeah.
But like,
share.
If I give you if I sponsor your kid, like, maybe tell people I sponsor your kid.
Yeah. I don't ever shop at Dear Me, but she's a really nice lady. She sponsored our team. That goes that goes far in our community because we are so driven by our children.
So word of mouth is huge.
Yes.
I can probably count on one hand how many times some advertising that I paid for actually brought something back in.
Yeah.
It's all word of mouth. Like, because I ask people, hey, how'd you hear about me? It's all word of mouth.
I will say in 1 week, this is not like just because Brittany did this. This would be if Katlyn walked out and told 4 people about me. But in 1 week, I had 4 new clients that came in for a shampoo and style because
from last week, yeah.
Not last week, but it was like, I think it was the week before, actually. I think it was the week before.
And I honestly don't advertise it like crazy.
No.
I just will tell random people that I'm lazy. I'm a lazy extension girl.
2, and
I will go get my hair washed every week.
2 of them went to Bonko with you. So, like, and they just saw your hair, and they were like, hey, I guess they said, hey, who does your hair? And you said, oh, Lacey, blah, blah, blah. And that week, I shampooed 2 of them.
Yeah. It's the best thing in the world.
Word of mouth is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I just want you to scrub my scalp, clean my extensions and my hair, make it pretty so I don't have to do it that day.
Yeah.
And then I can go straight to work.
Just come word vomit whatever you need, and as soon as you walk out the door, we both forget it was even said. Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of it.
It's way better of an advertisement.
So, and not to put pressure on you, and obviously she's sitting here, so you could tell her if you needed to, if you haven't already. But so those kind of things, like, hey, who told you about me? Oh, John Smith. So I'm going to call John Smith or send him a card. Hey, John Smith, thanks for sending me Jane Smith.
I mean, you already know.
I mean, you've probably already thanked her, but that goes a long way from the other side. Yeah. Like, knowing, like, okay, like, they obviously trusted me enough to, like, give my name to someone. But, like, me showing appreciation to them, like, that goes a long way.
Thank you for that, because I actually just started the text marketing stuff, so I could easily, like, send out a text. So that's
tips and tricks with Katlyn.
Yes, I like that.
Well, that, like, lately I think I had a cookie lady come to our...
Is it my cookie lady?
All right, do we have this?
We have the same cookie
lady.
Do we have the same
cookie lady?
You don't remember me giving you her name?
Oh,
way back when?
So thank you for giving
my cookie lady. And Caitlin's like...
She was mine first.
Good. I'm glad because I have no idea. People ask me how I found her, and I was like, I don't know.
Great reminder. I need to text her for
But you also referred me to my church, too.
I did.
And I didn't realize that until... I went back on a post, and I'm not even going to talk about the post.
I saw you tag me. I saw you tag me.
So, but no, we had the cookie lady come, and I have her. This is probably my 3rd or 4th time.
Probably so, yeah.
Using her for our events because she does the individually wrapped ones, and I love that because then people can just take it for
and they're yummy.
Because at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm not wanting a cookie right now, but I will totally eat it.
I'll eat the cookie.
It's Lacey and her
I'll
serial
have one
killer.
With my Dr. Pepper, please.
On the way here today, I'm like, hey girls, do you want coffee? And Caitlin's like, yeah, I'll take a coffee. And then over here, Lacey, serial killer Lacey, was like, I'm going to grab a Dr. Pepper. And it's
64 ounce from the local gas station.
7:45 in the morning. I don't know who does that.
Me.
So what were we talking about a second ago? Oh, advertising. Okay, so the cookie lady. Yeah. Sorry, my ADHD is hardcore ADHD. So the cookie lady came. Everybody loved the cookies because they are so freaking cute, but then also they're delicious.
Absolutely. No, they're so good.
So I got so many messages and questions in store, and I knew I took a picture with her, but when she dropped them off.
I saw you post it. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to post this later. And then I completely spaced on it. And then I kept getting messages from people who were like, hey, those cookies were delicious. Who did your cookies? Because it's very rare to find cookies that are cute and are actually don't taste like cardboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And the icing don't break your teeth.
Yes. So then I finally remembered I'm going to go post this over on the page, and we have 24,000 followers over there.
Yeah.
So I was like, I hope this really helps her. But then I also went over to my personal page, and everybody should do this. And I always forget, and I'm like, but I need to do it more. I invited all my 2,000 something friends
to her page.
Like her page too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you're not doing that to a small business, go do it. Because I took a screenshot of her likes on her page before I did it so that I could benchmark myself to go look and see how many of my referrals went and actually liked her page. I just like that stuff. I don't know. Yeah. I just want to see it grow.
Yeah.
And then I'll send people messages, and I'm like, hey, you asked, so would you mind sharing her page too?
Give her a like. Give her a
share.
Yeah.
Because she's fabulous. I just want people to know about it.
Yeah.
Which is community over competition.
Yes.
I'm just saying. Okay.
Ooh, I had an experience this past week after our last episode. I walked into a salon that I don't work in for the first time in 7 years.
Really?
And it was surreal. And got my nails done with Chelsea that works here in DeRidder. But it was so weird to walk into in a salon. Yes.
Yeah.
It was great. The experience was great. It was just me and her in there. But I was like, wow.
Well, I guess that would be weird because, what would bring you into there? For me, shopping, I go to Molly's all the time because we're constantly hey, do you need labels? Hey, do you need bags? Hey, can you gift wrap this for me? But I mean, shopping obviously is very generic, and I can go into other places all the time. I don't though, because I live either at home or at work. I don't shop. But no, I would imagine that would be kind of weird.
It was cool. It was just it's so cute in here.
Yeah.
And I just sat there and I was like, this is so cool.
And
the phone rang. I didn't even worry. I was just like, oh, your phone's ringing.
So, think about okay, so community over competition. Okay, there's a gajillion realtors here.
Yeah.
Okay, but not every realtor is meant for every client.
Oh,
yes.
No.
Same with hairstylists.
Yes.
Not every hairstylist is meant. And if there was only one salon or one real estate brokerage, those people would be worked to death.
Yes.
Their service would be poor, and you would be. You wouldn't be able to pour into people. So. One of the things that actually my manager preaches to us is you might be the juiciest, ripest peach, but not everyone's going to like peaches.
Right.
Yeah.
So just remember that, in real estate, I think on average, it's like 7 realtors. Like most people know 7 realtors.
Right.
So like if I see people that I know like using someone else, like it doesn't hurt my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like good for you for like starting a new journey, buying a new house, selling your home, whatever it may be. Like
Yeah.
I'm happy for you, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the same.
Yeah.
Same with all your little businesses.
I feel that with seeing someone use like a stylist. Now if it's someone who's used me for a long time, there is a second where I'm like, I'm reflecting on myself.
Like, what did you do?
What do I need to change? What do I need to do different? What did I do wrong? Like, you know, like.
Maybe they just had a gift certificate.
Yeah, not like me doing wrong, but like, was there some kind of communication? But
I'll be honest, I've done that before to
Yeah.
people. So, like, for instance, my friend Jordan,
Yeah.
when it was her birthday, I know that she has tried like 3 or 4 hair people, and I know that she has issues with confrontation and breaking up with people.
Yeah.
So I got her that gift card with you
Yeah.
to make it to where it's not her fault that
Yeah.
she changed ladies.
Yeah.
So if anybody were to ever ask her why she doesn't go to like that other whoever she went to before, she can legitimately, honestly be like, I had a gift card,
Yeah.
and then I just fell in love with her, and I stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's okay, you know? Like,
you're my peach, though, Lacey.
no, I love it.
I like your
but
peach.
like she said, there are 13,000 people in DeRidder, and I always hear the comment of, oh my gosh, we don't need another realtor. Oh my gosh, another girl's going to hair school. There's not 13,000 realtors.
No.
There's not 13,000 hairstylists.
Yeah.
Therefore, 1,000 can come to my salon. 1,000 can come to your, you know, buy with you. 1,000 can go to Expressions. 1,000 can go
and scheduling too. Like,
Yeah.
not everything works into the same schedule. Like, okay,
No.
for instance, oh my gosh, and I'm going to shout this out. Kelly Britton. Have you ever had a massage by Kelly Britton before?
Maybe.
No, I've heard she's amazing. Is that
Hands with Heart?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. But she only works 9 to 1.
Oh,
every
yeah,
day.
so that's kind of hard.
And I don't know about y'all, but when I get a massage, I'm done for the day. Don't ask me to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
that.
take a shower to get all this oil off me, and then I'm going to go crawl into my PJs and get in bed. So she only works like 9 to 1.
Sure.
So she books out like a month and a half in advance because she's so amazing.
Yeah.
That's what happens. So I had been complaining about like just I need a massage so bad. And so Miss Debbie and another one of my friends got me another gift card. Excuse me. And so now I'm going to go get a massage with somebody else, but it's like, I love Kelly and I'm going to go back to Kelly to get a massage, but like scheduling
Yeah.
just doesn't work out sometimes. So
Yeah,
I have one
absolutely.
booked with like somebody for like 4:00 in the afternoon on a Friday.
Friday.
Yeah. So at the end of the week, I can just be like, here, take
I'm
off
gonna
all
go
my
home.
makeup and I'm going to get a massage and then fall asleep on that table. And then I'm going to go home and fall asleep some more.
And put on those cozy pajamas.
Oh my gosh. My comfies.
Just wear your pajamas to the massage.
Oh, I should do that. That's a good idea. Well, I'll be probably going straight from work, but still.
Oh, just bring them with you
Yeah.
and put them on after.
But no, seriously. Like the peach thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not
But,
made
and
for
like,
everybody.
so, you know, all these places open, you know, oh, we don't need this, we don't need that. Like,
Everybody's
kind of like
got
with
an opinion,
Starbucks. Okay, but yes, okay, but kind of like with Starbucks, like, all right, that's bringing a job. Like, that's
Yeah,
bringing jobs for
growth.
people.
Yeah.
And I mean, people, I see it every day on our Facebook pages. You know, hey, I'm looking for a job. Hey, I'm trying to find a job.
Yeah.
Like, you bring these businesses in, and it brings jobs for people.
Yes.
So there's a bigger picture that a lot of people don't see when new places come here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you want to look at long term, let's say and I don't think they're going to, but let's say Starbucks fails.
Okay.
At least we have this nice new building
Yeah.
That
looks
could
nice,
potentially
that could
turn
house
into
somebody
something else. Yeah.
Yes. We have so many dilapidated buildings just
Look,
hanging
I want a
out
Panda
right now.
Express.
You want a Panda Express?
Panda Express. Look, Chinese food, I love it.
KFC. Put it in the old
Hello.
KFC building.
No.
Here's my plug. If someone is listening that wants to open a chain and they
Of
want to
Panda
open a Panda
Express?
Express,
Are you gonna be their spokesperson?
There's a KFC building, well, used to be KFC building down the road. Like,
That I think is already spoken for.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, look at you with the
How
information.
do you not know this?
I
And
don't
you're
know,
the
man.
president of the chamber.
Head down, eyes forward.
I'm going
Like,
to
I
tell
don't-
you when
yeah.
we get off here. I don't think I'm allowed to tell anybody
Oh, I don't know.
on the air, but I'm going to tell you after.
I can walk to it, so I'm real excited.
Well, it's kind of like Starbucks. I'll be able to walk to Starbucks. It's
Yeah.
3 businesses down from mine.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I'll,
it's going to be great
I'll just-
for me. I'm a boutique. Like,
Well-
people will be like, oh my gosh, there is a Starbucks now somewhere.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'll be
I've
very
never heard of
honest. They have a really good grilled cheese sandwich.
I'm sorry. Starbucks does a grilled cheese
Baby,
sandwich.
on a sourdough bread.
What?
It's like gourmet grilled cheese for Doritter.
Gourmet? Oh my gosh.
I love grilled cheese.
I'm just thinking about their display because it's like they put a real sandwich up there to rot for a couple days and they leave it as like what it looks like.
But
and
if
so
they
now
put a
that's what I think
plastic
about.
one, you wouldn't want to buy it because
No,
plastic
I
wouldn't be the
want that
same.
either. I just can't. I don't know.
So
I eat my
never mind.
energy bagel from Coffee Connection.
I was just gonna ask if never mind. Do
What?
they have a grill at Starbucks?
I don't know. I think it's like a
the
panini.
microwave.
No,
Is it?
because
No?
it's like
They
it's
press
like
it?
toasted and like got pressed and stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
like I think it's like I didn't
Okay.
watch it, but like
I'm just
I
wondering.
got it
We're
one
gonna
time.
have to see about
had a gift
this.
card.
Yeah, I'm
got it one
intrigued.
time, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Sir, ma'am."
I do like their lemonade. It's like a passion fruit, dragon
like their
fruit
refreshers.
Yeah.
lemonade
Their
refresher.
refreshers.
It's a
Okay.
refresher.
Yeah.
This episode of Big Girl Britches podcast brought to you by Acadian Coffee Roasters. At Acadian Coffee Roasters, we craft specialty grade Arabica coffee with passion and precision. As a local micro roaster, we take pride in sourcing the finest beans from around the world, so you get the best cup of coffee possible. Proudly served at the Coffee Connection and other local restaurants and businesses, our fresh roasted coffee keeps customers coming back for more. Acadian Coffee Roasters, where quality meets community one cup at a time. Now back to Big Girl Britches podcast.
But like, I either drink Coffee Connection or Dr. Pepper.
Well, and look, coffee. I'll be very honest. Like I like Coffee Connection. Like I
Yeah.
probably will still get my coffees there.
Well, it's
Yeah.
But if I'm feeling a grilled cheese, I'll walk
Oh,
3 doors over
absolutely.
and go grab one.
Debbie has ruined me like grading things on this Yucca app. Have you done this?
No.
She has ruined like everything is organic. Like I've been eating tons of like clean organic things. You
I
know?
probably should get
I'm
on
in my.
it's Yucca. Is that what
It's
you
Yucca.
said?
It's
Yucca?
Yuka. I don't know
Okay.
if I'm saying it right. If it's
Who knows?
Yucca or something.
Oh.
But you scan barcodes and it tells you like if it has any like cancer causing things in it.
Listen.
Am I about to be down a
Any-
rabbit hole?
Yeah, you sure
Listen.
are. Because
Okay.
you're going to be ruined. Your children will never eat cereal again because they're all like a 0.
Do you
on the
know
scale.
what I take for lunch on a daily?
I know. I
bag
watch
of
your
nachos?
videos, and she's like, "I have leftover nachos and
Like, I got.
jalapenos," and I'm like, "That's not a lunch, Lacey. Where's
Is
your
that
protein?
what I sound like?
Where is your protein?
She
Yes,
just
you
made you
sound like
sound like
cornbread."
cornbread.
In the cheese. The protein's in the cheese.
That is nacho cheese from a can. You might as well be taking Velveeta. I'm like, Lacey, where's your protein at? Like, at least, like, have an egg.
Hey,
You did bring hard-boiled eggs one day.
I do bring hard-boiled eggs, and then I probably
If you
eat an
don't
egg at
follow
home.
Lacey's TikTok videos of what she's wearing for the day, which it's always me, just spoiler
Always.
alert, it's always
Always.
you're me. But then the food that she takes for lunch every day is probably the highlight of these videos.
Yeah.
Because you're like, didn't you eat that yesterday? She's like, yeah, I did.
Yeah, I bought a bag
of
of a family-sized bag of Doritos and a 5-pack of nacho cheese containers and a half gallon of jalapenos. That's 2 weeks worth of food right there, man.
Probably cost you what, like $12?
10. And I ate for 2 weeks off $10.
So
And then the
That's
other
cost
day,
savings.
my
Oh my gosh.
husband. Okay, so for Christmas, my husband got me like a really nice Dooney and Burke purse. I love Dooney and Burke. And the other day,
Fancy.
my lunch was fried chicken in a Ziploc bag
did you put that in your dooney?
with Whataburger ketchup containers in the Ziploc bag. And I took a picture and I said, I don't think this is what Dooney had in mind.
No.
So I'm gonna back up and probably crush the internet.
Okay.
Controversial.
Okay.
Oh,
I hate
Lord.
ketchup. Like,
Why?
absolutely
Does
not.
it depend? Like, is
Is
it
it the
organic
smell?
No,
ketchup?
it's
like,
everything ketchup. Blech.
is it because it has tomatoes in it?
No, I'm okay with tomatoes. I don't know. Ketchup is disgusting. I will gag if it's on my hand. You know, you open the container sometimes because one of my kids likes to like eat ketchup. Like
Yeah.
just
Oh, which one?
Peyton.
Oh, of course she does. She
I
just
could've
likes to
guessed
drink it.
that.
Yeah, she'll stick her finger in it. And
Yeah,
just lick it.
Gentry
So,
too.
Olive
blech,
with
ketchup.
ranch.
Secondly, I don't have the tickety talk. I'm not tickety
So
talking.
if I didn't
Even before
have-
the internet crashed and they took it away and apparently
Yeah.
gave it back.
Oh, okay. So another controversial. I was happy when they were taking TikTok away.
I didn't really
Because-
care.
Is it because you got sucked into the black hole and you would
No,
scroll?
No,
Okay.
not at all. I was happy that TikTok was going away. Relieved. Because I have to be on so many social media platforms
Oh,
Oh,
it's probably
all
over
yeah.
the time. I don't think people realize how much work it is.
Oh, yeah.
It
Other
is.
people get enjoyment out of it. I know I don't get enjoyment out of it because
it's a job.
have to do it.
Yeah.
It is a job.
Yeah.
So I have a personal TikTok that I will post on once in a while. I try to give like business tips or like motivational things, like positive, like putting positivity out into the world that I enjoy.
Sure.
But when I have to like dance and lip sync on camera all the time for like TikToks and stuff for the business, I no longer get enjoyment out of that like in my spare time. So when they said TikTok was leaving, I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
Number one, because of all this Temu bullcrap, like, and like the China stuff. And I know everybody is like, I receive hate for this all the time. I give zero shits because honestly, if you don't know like long-term effects that has on us as a country, we can't even have a discussion about it because you are not on the same plane of thinking as me.
Right.
And I'm not saying that as to be like a talking down, but if you don't understand short-term versus long-term impacts on our economy, I don't care that you're like, well, I want a $6 shirt. Go to Walmart. At least they're giving jobs to local people.
Yeah, sure. No, I get that.
So I don't care. When they put the tariffs and like USPS released that like 12-hour, we're no longer delivering anything from China thing, I was like, yes. Now, a lot of the stuff, like
it was kind of exciting as a small business.
It
like,
was,
and for
oh my gosh,
like
I was
for
like,
friends who own small businesses because I don't ship things or sell things like that.
Is that still a thing? Like, is it still?
No, they took it away because China's like complying with some of the things. But and I know. Listen, you have to be an idiot to not know that like 80% of the stuff that the U.S. buys and has like from goods is from China.
Yeah.
So if you think I'm not also as a business owner going to suffer the consequences of my choices, voting the way that I do, you're crazy. I know the consequences for that. But listen, the difference between me and a lot of people, I'm okay with suffering in the short run for the long-term good of my country and my business. And I'll die on that hill. I don't care. You know how much flack I get about my conservative views and beliefs and everything and broadcasting them through my business? I literally have had other people in my same industry reach out and be like, that's not a good idea. And I'm like, you should probably kick rocks. We're not going to have that conversation.
So but that's the beauty of life. I mean, everyone has their own opinion.
Oh yeah,
and
but
you're not going
to
be the same.
You're not going to be successful if you continue to do that. I don't know if like anybody's noticed, but we've done real well in the past 4 years, and that's not because I bent over for everybody else and like just let them walk all over. I didn't do. I'm not doing that.
You have to have standards and morals in your business as a
oh my
as a
gosh,
whole.
incredibly so.
Like there's stuff that's not going to happen in you're not going to come to my salon and get alcohol served to you. Some salons do. It doesn't happen in mine.
Right. Well, number one, because that's an issue.
Number one, good for you.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, two,
what if
you're not going to come in my salon and have inappropriate clothing and stuff, like...
Right. Well, you don't give off those vibes. And I think that's a big thing, too, is like, I don't get... For the fact that, number one, I'm Southern.
Yeah.
Okay? We live in the South. Number two, if you know anything about me, you know my husband is prior military. My dad, prior service.
Yeah.
My grandpa, service. Great-grandpa, service. I own a business and pay taxes, okay? And I'm a woman, I don't know, in the South. You know, all of these things together.
Southern conservative
and you
woman, I guess.
were gonna be surprised that I am a staunch Republican.
Yeah,
you were surprised by
I
this?
think that's what gets me.
So when you saw Trump on my window, when you saw the president in front of the White House, arms stretched open, you
were shocked.
And it says "Daddy's home" the day after the election, and people literally were like turning around, doing a U-turn, and coming and parking in my parking space. And a woman came in and she goes, "My husband was driving me by your building." Now listen, I work at a boutique. Okay. Men don't often encourage the kind of behavior that happens in my store.
No.
Okay.
No.
So this gentleman was driving his wife down the road, looked over, saw, they didn't even know that my building was a boutique. Okay. They just saw Trump arms wide open on this building. It says "Daddy's home." And this guy flipped a U. He realized it was a boutique. He parked and he said, "Go spend some money in that store." Like that doesn't.
I like it.
I have zero
Hey,
qualms about it.
Men feel very strongly about who they support and who they don't support for reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Because Eric...
And they'll be more open about it.
You gotta resituate. I got excited. So Eric actually, on the whole Starbucks conversation, we're conservative Republicans, whatever. So we were on the conversation. I said, well, some mornings when I'm running late, I may go through the drive-thru. And he was like, no. He said, you go to Coffee Connection or Katz. He was like, or don't go. And I was like, what? And he said, we're not supporting Starbucks.
Was there something specific?
He says he doesn't like their views.
Their political views.
Oh.
Their political views.
See, I've never
That's a lot of
actually
people's
delved into
Yeah.
their
concerns.
political
He said he
views.
doesn't like their views and what they stand for. And if we're going to do something, and he made me, I said, you know what? Miss Debbie's, I don't know Kat's views. She's a great coffee shop here in Ritter too. But Miss Debbie's moral background and her views and stuff, that's just where I would rather put my eggs in, you know?
Yeah.
She loves Jesus just like
She
me.
loves
Yeah,
Jesus.
that's
She
right.
loves her community. And she wants good for the Ritter.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
period. Her bottom dollar is Jesus and community. And that's where we stand on that, you know?
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even him, he's never stepped foot in coffee. No, I lie. He got hot chocolate there once.
Don't hit
Sorry,
your mic.
Sorry, Mike. And even he knew. He was like, "No, we're gonna keep going there." And I was like, "Okay." I kind of respect that.
Yeah. No,
Kind of.
I
I mean,
like
I
it.
do respect that, but you know.
So one thing I asked you what you did, like the best thing you ever did for your business.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now I want to know, what's the worst thing you ever did for your business?
Ooh.
You better be honest too. I want to hear the juice.
So, one thing, so when I first got in, it was hyper obsessed on what other people were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Oh,
oh, this realtor's doing that, this realtor's doing that, this one's doing this.
this falls into
Like,
community over
trying-
competition, doesn't
yeah,
it?
Trying to be someone I was not. So, like,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to be on the Tickety Talk or the Book of Face, dancing and singing
Right.
and like,
Yeah.
here's why you should use the realtor. It's just not me. So
Yeah.
I spent too much time looking at, well, this is what other realtors are doing. And if I want to be successful, like I need to do what they're doing, which is false.
Right.
It is false, yeah.
Because rewind to, I'm not everyone's realtor. And like, there are people who are going to use me. If people are going to use me, they're going to use me because of who I am. They're not going to use me because of the brokerage that I work at. They're not going to use me if I dance on TikTok. Like, they're going to use me because they know, like, okay, she has good customer service.
Yeah.
And that was what was important. So I kept comparing myself to other people.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can't be anyone else. And
And
no one
I
else
think
can
you're a
be
straight
me.
shooter.
Yes.
No,
So
sure, yeah.
here's what Darl appreciates, because my husband is, I love him so much, but he also is a hard guy to please sometimes.
Yeah.
He's like,
And he will call the BS in the room.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
hardcore. And sometimes I'm like, he'll walk away from me. I'll go, be nice. Please be nice. I really like these people. Please.
But so I had to realize, like, I can't, if it's uncomfortable for me, then it's not for me to do.
Yeah.
Like, I can't be anyone else.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, so any of these realtors in town that are doing things, like, if it's not me, I don't have to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
No.
Like, I got to do what works for me and
Absolutely.
works for my
So,
clients.
real question.
Mhm.
Now, I do it because I'm trying to be cutesy, but sending you people that were like mailing me, do you not want me to do that? Is it not good
Oh, I
for your
don't care.
headspace?
No,
Okay.
it doesn't bother me. So
There's
I
just-
mail things.
Well, yeah, but I just did. So, there are people in my life who we have boundaries
Sure.
because I have blinders, and I don't know if I've ever.
We-
I'm
yeah,
sure we've talked about this.
it. Yeah.
I don't watch anybody
Yeah,
do
no,
anything
absolutely,
in
yeah.
my industry
Mhm.
ever. And I'll even like discuss this on the podcast, but like I've even talked with Molly and our friends,
Mhm.
and I'm
You
like,
guys go to church together. Right?
yeah, we go to church together, which I didn't know we went to church together. I had her saved in my phone as Molly from church, right?
You'll have
And
a bigger
so-
church. It's bigger.
No, it's
No.
not bigger.
Oh.
We go to church in Maryville.
Oh,
But
the
I-
river. I don't
the
know why I was
river.
thinking Grace.
Yeah, no, we go to the River Church in Maryville. I drive like 35 minutes from my house in Rosebud to go to church there because I love it. But I had her saved in my phone as Molly from church, And then one day she's like, hey, she texts me and she's like, do you have extra label, like Dymo labels or something? And I was like, why is Molly from church asking me for Dymo labels? And then I was like, oh, that's the Molly. I didn't realize it was the same Molly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm an idiot and I didn't connect the dots. But like, that's how much I don't pay attention to other, like what other people are doing around me. And so I even had a conversation with her one day and I said, she was talking about like, hey, I don't want to carry this if you're going to carry that. And I said, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, if you ever see, and like customers will send me screenshots of things and be like, oh my gosh.
I have sent you a pair of pants before and I was like, hey, listen, I love you, but I need these pants.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's different, but they'll send me things from other places and be like, they're copying you. And I'm like, I can't do anything about that and I don't care. Mm-hmm. So I told Molly straight up, I was like, if I ever have anything that you also have, because like for context, people who don't know who we're talking about right now, Molly owns Frill Boutique. So I am a clothing, accessories, women's, whatever, everything boutique. And she does like just gifts. Yeah. But I told her, if you ever see anything, if anybody sends you anything or you see anything, because I post all the time and I have like social media people who post too. But I was like, if you have something that I also have, it is absolutely not because I went and was creeping your stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't pay attention to anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So no, sending me stuff like that, it doesn't bother me. Yeah. Because I appreciate the
some
hustle.
People it does. Like I would rather people not send me those things because one, I can't do anything about it.
Sure.
Right.
Number two, and honestly, I don't care. But it derails my thought process that moment that you text me for the next 5 seconds. Yeah. Like, and it wastes time. And I'm a big, like, I don't like time wasters. Yep. Like, I know that sounds probably like, I just don't like time wasting.
Sure.
I want to make sure I'm maximizing my efficiency. And I know how, like, ridiculous that might sound.
Yeah. No, we have a lot to get done during the day.
Right. Yeah. But you being caught, and people thinking, and first of all, you thinking I'm going to be, like, mad about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. I mean, I'm flattered. But I'm not mad about it, for sure. And one, did they do it intentionally? I don't know. Like, we all go to Dallas Market. Like, community over competition, that whole thing. Like, I want, and this is another thing. I must say it on the air, too. So, people thinking, like, recently we had a boutique here close that had been open for a couple years. And someone came in and said, aren't you so excited that they closed?
No.
And I was like, and you know how community minded I am. Oh, I wasn't even thinking about that, to be totally honest.
That was the first thing I thought of.
That was not what I was thinking about. I am so like growth mindset. Yeah. Locally,
you have to.
I don't think about individual things. Yeah. Individual shops. That's not how I think. I want people to come here from Beaumont. I want people to come here from Natchitoches. Yeah. I want people to come here from Lake Charles, from Alexandria, from wherever, Pineville. I don't care. I want people to come from all over to shop and eat and all that stuff here and know how great of a community we have. And they're not going to do that
if there's nothing here.
If there's only 2 boutiques here. Yeah. Like, so nobody's going to do that.
Right. So, and think about my job. So I'm a lot of people's first friends. Like, okay. A lot of military people move here.
And look, here we are 6 years later.
A lot of years later. So I work with a lot of military people. Yeah. And they already have a negative persona about this area anyway.
Everybody does. If you're watching this and you're like, eventually you might end up in DeRidder, Leesville area because you're like moving here with the military.
Post and ask.
Don't make a Facebook post and be like, I heard this place is awful. No, we're not awful. This place is amazing.
We're not awful.
I lived in like 11 places.
The people who say it's awful don't leave their house.
Awesome. And you have to experience yourself. Like,
yes.
So, okay.
It's what you make it.
I'm people's first friends. I'm on a lot of their kids' green cards at school. I get the, hey, I need a hairdresser. Hey, I need a boutique to shop at. Hey, I need a thrift store. Hey, this. So it's like, for me, realtors are the mouth of the community. Yeah. Like, they really are. I mean, so we're much more, we're much more than just listing and selling houses. We are literally advocating for the city, for the town, for the parish, for the businesses that are here. Yeah. I mean, because if you think about it, you move here and you don't know anybody. Who are you going to ask? You're going to ask the person that sold you your house.
I didn't think about that either.
And like, hey, like I have I've put it together now. I mean, 8 years later, but it's a booklet of here's some recommendations of things.
I think we talked about this like 3 years ago.
Yeah. So I finally did it.
like, it's been a work in progress. Okay, it's taking me a minute.
3 years ago was a poor time for me. Like COVID. Okay, so I had a baby. We had COVID. The market was berserk of like 2% interest rates and everyone buying everything. I got burnt out. Like I wanted to quit.
Yeah.
It was like I have literally reached the max that I can handle, and I was like really tired. So now, like, okay, so you call me, hey, I need something. Like, I'm gonna have something for you, and if I give you a name, I can either personally shop there, or I know people that shop there, or like I just know. Like, I'm not just gonna throw out a name like, hey, John Smith Construction.
Right.
Yeah.
If I don't know John Smith Construction does a good job, so like what I'm giving you, like I'm backing, like I'm giving my word.
I ask you
on
all
that.
the time
for stuff. Yeah.
I'll ask her like this. Somebody said this.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
You know, on this being a good
Yeah.
service provider or whatever.
Yeah. And so, like, the minute, you know, if I have this list of, hey, X, Y, and Z you might need, but the minute I start seeing poor, like, results of these people, like, I can't recommend you anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Because then it looks poorly on me. They're going to be like, hey, Katlyn gave me this name,
Yeah.
and they were awful.
Yeah. And I'll tell, like, I had an experience where I asked you about somebody,
Yes.
and you were like, no, I think they're good. There's like the only gig in town. And I'm like, not good.
And so that's the kind of stuff I need to hear, though. So,
Yeah.
like, people, if I give someone, like, I want to know if it's a poor experience.
Yeah.
Because, like, and I've called people and been
Because
like,
you put
hey,
your name on it.
I sent X, Y, and Z to you, and, like, something didn't go right. Like, what, can I kind of hear what was going on? Because I need to know. You know, I don't want people to come here. They are, like, a lot of people come here and they already think negative anyway. I don't want them to have more negativity and poor experiences with stuff here. So, the more that we can offer, like, the better it is in a whole.
Yeah.
You know?
Why do you think so many people think so negatively of DeRitter?
I think that's a predisposition of the military, because before we even got here, because I had never lived here before. I'm not from here. Both of y'all are from here.
Yeah.
Right.
I am not.
Yeah.
When Darryl wanted a federal job.
Yeah.
That was, so when you're active duty in the military, you're told over and over and over again, man, that's the dream right there.
Yeah.
Is getting out of the service, getting yourself a cush military, like a cush federal job. And it's going to be great, right? You're going to get your retirement set up or whatever.
Yeah.
So when we were in Colorado, and we had to get out of Colorado because our values and our viewpoints did not align with what they were trying to teach my kids in school.
Okay.
So we had to get out. I love
Interesting.
Colorado. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But first of all, I wasn't made for the cold like that. And we lived in Germany for a couple years. And then, you know, Colorado. And I was so ready to be tan again. Like, legit. But when he put in for all these federal jobs, that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You apply for
a everything.
bajillion federal jobs.
Yeah.
Anywhere. I mean, like, if he was applying for jobs and he said, are you cool, like, living in Maryland? Are you cool living in, like, you know, Virginia? Like, how do you feel about Florida, you know?
Welcome to Louisiana.
Right. So we put in for all these cool places, and maybe Louisiana was on the list a little bit, and I was like, I've never been to Mardi Gras. You know, like, that'd be cool. So I think it was like, you know, an afterthought. But he's, you know, he gets this job opportunity, and it's out of Fort Polk, Louisiana. And I was like, shit, that really happened.
Introduced as Fort Puke.
No.
Oh.
It was introduced, Fort Polk is the armpit of the Army.
Yes.
That is how everybody talks about it, especially we were at Fort Carson.
So, and I will go on a little tangent here. So, this is my thoughts, is people have a poor mindset when it comes to the military.
Yes.
They just do. And I've never understood why. Like, they literally signed their life away.
Yes.
For you and your country.
Yes.
So you better get on board with it or get out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I will die on that hill. Like, these people volunteer for that.
Yes.
Yes.
And their pay is terrible.
It's terrible.
It's horrible.
However, your health care is fabulous.
Probably so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, your health care is fabulous. If you love adventure, I love me a good adventure, man. Like, that's the life.
You can see the world.
Once
like,
you get tired of where you live, don't worry. Because it's going to change after 3 to 4 years.
They're going to send you somewhere else.
If it sucks, good news, girl. You only have like 2 more years to do.
Yeah.
And then you can get out.
Yep. So, and, okay, people have this poor mindset of the military. And then you look at Louisiana, okay, from a military standpoint, just what I've been working with clients, they're looking at several things. Mm-hmm. What does the area have to offer for me and my family?
Right.
How is education? housing.
Which we jumped in education
We
recently.
did jump. Praise the Lord. We jumped. But so you come here and it was, well, Louisiana's at the bottom here. Louisiana's at the bottom here. And they're at the bottom here. And so...
Statistics don't lie.
The statistics just don't look good for here.
Yeah.
And so people come with a negative mindset. Now, I have learned they either love it or hate it here. There's no in between.
Right.
They leave here and want to come back, or they leave here and I'm like, I hope I never get stationed here ever again.
Yeah.
But so, like, from a community standpoint, it's our job, like, to sell this area. It's our job to bring good, advocate for education, advocate for the kids, advocate for businesses, because if you don't do that, they're going to fail.
Do you, and this is going to piss a couple people off, but do you know how many realtors are on my friends? Now, listen, I have a bunch of realtors on my friends list.
Everybody does.
But do you know how many of them will post negative things all the time?
I'm sure a lot. And
Like,
I think,
about
and here's...
schools?
Oh, yeah.
Like, specifically schools or community events? My God. The parade. The parade alone.
Why are there so many complaints about this stuff that people
Lord
are
have
volunteering
mercy.
to put on?
Seriously, it's a free event.
Like, they do not get
Stop
paid
complaining.
to do the parades.
You're
to
not
do the
out there
fair,
helping
to do
the situation.
No.
Eventually, things will go away. Like, and I don't think
Yes.
people understand that. Like,
Because they're so whiny.
I also will say, first off, if I could get rid of social media and keep a business page, I totally would. I would have no social media.
That'd be amazing.
Social media has given people...
Too much of an
A
opinion.
mouthpiece.
Well, it's a mouthpiece because, like they're not going to say it to your face.
No.
They can get on the internet
Oh my
and hide behind a
gosh.
keyboard and type whatever. But I'll be honest, like, I have gotten rid of people in my feed only because I'm like, I don't want
Unfollow.
this in my life.
Yeah.
Like, look.
Did you hear the last podcast? Did you hear my block list? It's long.
Look, okay, so I was, let's see, this past October made a year. Like, I found Jesus. I got baptized. All the things.
I think you refound
And
Jesus,
so-
which I think is, like, you were
So
already...
I never really had, like, a strong, like, faith or relationship. Like, I've been through some crap.
Yeah.
And, like, there was a long period of time where I was kind of mad at God.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why would you do this to me?
Why would you do this to me?
And
Oh,
so
the
this is a
shaking of
whole
the fist.
this is a whole nother.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
No.
I could talk on this for an hour. But so like in this and like in my growth and in my learning, I've learned like, man, like people are gonna have different values from me, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like that's how they're meant to
Yeah.
be. But like I don't have to conform to that. I don't have to like feed into that. Like it's okay for me to cut things away.
There's like
if it's for
1,900 right ways to do things.
Yes.
Sure.
Just because
Sure.
it's your right way
Yeah.
doesn't mean that it's like my right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so...
And I think the problem people have is they don't see that. They don't see the bigger picture of...
It's pride.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think you've legitimately, and tell me if I'm wrong on this, and you're going to agree. When people are so judgmental, it's unfortunate, and I feel bad for them because they've not suffered enough in their life. And that's not me making people suffer or God making anybody suffer.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that when you are so judgmental towards others, it's because you've not experienced enough anguish and turmoil and absolute trauma in your life to make all of that judgment go away. Because when you've experienced a level of trauma and just turmoil in your life and bad stuff happening, all of a sudden when you have those things happen to you, you look around and you're like, all of a sudden you become incredibly appreciative
Yeah.
for all the blessings in your life
Sure.
because you know how bad it can be.
Yeah.
You've seen it.
Yeah.
And sometimes, a lot of the times, our worst traumas, no one ever even knows about.
No.
We
No.
don't talk about them.
And it's okay
And
not
that's
to
okay.
air that out.
Yeah,
Yes.
no. Because not everything needs to be shared. It's
not everybody's business.
It's not everybody's business. And honestly, when the bad stuff goes on behind closed doors, you don't want to relive it every day.
No.
And when you tell people, they want to talk about it.
Yes.
And then they want to relive it. It's between me, God, and whoever else, needs to discuss it, or therapists. Like, oh my gosh, therapy is
Yeah.
amazing.
The
we
biggest...
we could do an entire episode on just self-care and trauma and recovery. But literally, I think I see people judging a lot, and I feel sorry for them because I know they're gonna suffer some more in their life.
Yeah.
And they've not had enough yet.
Or they have suffered and they've not dealt with it.
Oh, yeah. That too.
So this is, I think, a lot of times that they're so judgy because they are so miserable in their life, like whether it's their lifestyle, how they're living, or their appearance or whatever, that they look and they nitpick things about
to avoid
other people to make themselves, Lacey's shirt was wrinkled today, so it, at least mine wasn't wrinkled, so I am better there. Oh, well, Brittany's hair was in a bun and wasn't curled today. And
listen, my hair is in a bun because my hairdresser is off on Mondays.
Her hairdresser's filming a podcast with her right now. But that's what I think nowadays. Because if I see somebody and your hair ain't done, I'm like, well, one, that's my fault. Two,
no, it's my fault.
Two, you didn't have time. I'm not judging you.
Yeah.
At least she's here.
That's
something people need to understand.
I showed up.
You accept people as they are, how they come, how they are. That's
at least they're here.
Okay, I've not ever been super confident or firm on sharing my faith and all the things, but that's what we're led to do. At least they are here. Jesus accepts her, him, whoever, in where they are and how they stand.
At least they're at church.
If they are here with their bun in their hair, she's here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh yeah, just what did I walked in and I'm like, Debbie's she's feeling a little stressful right now. What did I say?
Yeah. You can pray for her.
I was like,
I'm gonna pray for her.
I'm
Check
gonna
on
pray
her
for
later.
Debbie. I'm gonna send her a nice little text.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and go, oh dang, I see you, Dylan.
Okay.
20-minute warning.
So I think if we just take a second to realize, not everyone is going to be put together honestly, kudos to the people who are put together all the time.
But they're not together all the time.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And people need to understand that and accept that. It's okay to not be put together all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay to not be okay.
Oh, yeah.
I feel that pressure all the time. I'll go, because I own a boutique, people believe this thing in their head that I get up every morning with full hair and makeup done. I think they think that, which I don't know why, because I definitely don't lead you to this false picture of me that I'm put together all the time. I try not to. Even I talk about my hair extensions all the time because people are like, oh my gosh, you just have the best hair. I'm like, half of this is fake. I want to be real because I don't ever want people to think I'm better than other people.
Right. Yeah.
Or I've got some hidden secrets of how to do, no, there are no hidden secrets of nothing. We are all struggling in our own ways. I put hair extensions in because I didn't like how thin my hair was after I had
some body.
4 freaking kids. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want thin hair in my photos when whatever. And it just makes me feel better about myself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that should be okay.
It should be.
I'm not leading people on. I'm very upfront about it. And even if you're not upfront about it and you don't want to share about if you have hair extensions, okay, that's your own personal thing.
Right.
People see my pictures all the time. And I don't want them just thinking I wish I had hair like Brittany and then tried to do this unimaginable, stress themselves out over their freaking hair. Because people do that.
Yeah.
They do.
People try too hard to be like other people.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was the one thing I started in my business?
Yeah,
I tried too hard to be like other people.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
And it takes, I want to leave with something. So it takes just as much energy to be mean to people as it does to be kind to people.
Oh my gosh. But
it's so fun to be kind.
You never know, when someone's having a crappy day.
Yeah.
And you can just say, hey, in passing whatever, and then be like, oh my gosh, someone even acknowledged that I exist.
Yeah.
It literally takes just as much effort to be kind.
Do you know, when I'm walking through a parking lot, I'll be thinking in my mind, and half the time I have a little grin on my face. And do you know how many people...
Do you walk around with a smile?
I do walk around with a smile.
People probably think I'm crazy.
They
think you're crazy,
I walk around with a smile because I'm genuinely a happy person, unless I'm just having one of those days. I have those days. And so, this morning from the gas station, I got my Dr. Pepper. Ain't a thing wrong.
She got 23 flavors this morning.
I'm happy, and I'm walking to my car, and I have, a soft little smile on, and you'd be surprised the amount of people that, look...
Because I think you're crazy.
And they'll smile. You know, they'll like smile too.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
yeah.
I
No,
think
in a
it's
good
because-
way?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
they
It's
look at you.
It's polarizing. You'll have people that are like,
It's contagious.
it's contagious.
Yeah.
Or you have people that are looking at you like,
Yeah, I have had a few of those. But honestly, most of the time it's the women. I'll be walking and I'm like not even looking at them, and I'll just happen to look and I'm just smiling and they smile too. And like you can tell it just, they kind of like look at me like
it's
you know
okay.
what? It is
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be okay. You know? I don't know. Just smile a little bit. Go outside. Wash
some
your
fresh
face.
air.
Brush your teeth.
Get on the treadmill or something.
Get on the
It helps
treadmill.
my endorphins. I'm not saying that as like an ugly thing. But like, man.
So mine is music.
Yours is music.
Is it?
Mine is
I love me
vitamin
some
D.
music. But like movement, like going to the gym has like helped.
I just need
so
to go
much.
outside. I'm such a little nature soul. I want to go outside and go clean up the beach and save the turtles. And so
She does. She wants to
yes.
recycle glass into sand.
I do. I wanna bring a facility here. That's a conversation for a whole other podcast.
That's
think.
her
But
dream.
Yes,
she wants
my
to
dream is
go
to
to
start.
the beach and collect all the glass and stuff.
Yes,
And then have a glass recycling plant or something. Facility.
Okay.
And that Gentry can work at, because Gentry's
Yes.
passionate about it, cleaning up our beaches too.
Yes.
And then recycling all of that into sand that we can then
Yes.
use to help
'Cause
prevent erosion.
We
of
have the
beach.
casinos with all the bars and all the glass
See?
bottles.
I listened.
Yes, she did listen. And we have all the bars here, Leesville, New Lano. So we get a big warehouse. I need to find an empty building. And we grind it back into sand. And then we use that to rebuild Louisiana's
So
coastline.
if anybody is watching this that wants to help with Lacey's dream with her glass
Economic development.
Economic
Yes.
development.
Oh, that's such a
And
good
I want
idea.
to take local youth groups and go down to our coastline and pick up the beaches and like
We said we were going to do that this summer too.
yes, we are going to do it this summer because we're all going to take our campers down there and do like a cleanup. And then Bundix Lake, Vernon Lake, like we can start local.
Oh, there's probably
So,
lots of trash.
Yeah, it doesn't just have to be an ocean thing. It can be
Yeah.
a Beauregard Vernon Parish thing also. But yeah, that's big dreams for me
That's
one
big
day.
dreams.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Don't
Do
know
you
how
have
we got
big
here.
dreams?
Do you have big dreams?
Do I have big dreams? I don't know.
Like, so that's Lacey's like, oh my gosh, if $1 million investor came in and wanted to help you with that dream. So
If $1 million.
if anything was possible, what would your big dream be?
$1 million investment.
Yes.
coming here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
In your dream. Somebody invested in your dream.
I have an answer.
Okay.
So, because obviously money is a thing.
Right.
It would be more facilities for veterans with PTSD to get help.
I love that.
I'm so glad you said that. So my girlfriend is doing a 48-mile ruck march.
Okay. Yeah.
It's called 48 and 22.
Okay.
I'm guessing she has to do 48 miles in 22,
In 22 days, probably.
Okay.
I want to do this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this hits home.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, like, you and I have shared, like, through the chamber, like, obviously there's a lot of business, but, like, there's more to the chamber than just that. And so unity in the community is one thing I'm working on. Like, I have a list of days that we're, like, gonna honor or, like, help celebrate.
Right.
PTSD Day is in June, and there will be something,
Praise the Lord.
something, for the
Yeah,
community to
I'm
get
here
together.
for
I mean,
it.
because it's a big thing.
I think.
I have
Oh.
a veteran at home,
Yeah.
and
There
just needs to be. There needs to be more for them.
yeah.
more resources.
I don't have
instead
a
of
veteran
just
at home, but
What is that?
I agree.
855 or not? Or what is the number?
I think it's an 888 number.
Yeah,
The crisis number.
887,
Yeah,
the
something.
crisis. We need to do better.
But I would love something here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know we have the VA and stuff, but like sometimes the VA is hard for them to deal with and to
And
get
the
in
VA
with.
is kind of hard. It's kind of
um,
in Pineville. It's kind of far away.
Alexandria is where
Alexandria.
Darrell goes.
Yeah,
I think.
Pineville.
Some people I think are blessed to go.
Yeah.
here
There's
to
some,
Leesville.
there's some here, but
I
I
didn't
think
know
it's
there was
limited.
one.
But you're I think you're
What's-
assigned.
It's limited. Yeah,
Oh,
you're
okay.
a
assigned.
location.
Yeah.
And so
no, I'm very
not
interested.
always.
But there's more, through that, like, here's a pill for something. Here's a pill for something. Like,
Right.
there are other means of, like, help for people
So-
with PTSD than just here's a pill for something.
So, like,
Absolutely.
there are I don't want to disclose like too much of my personal things because I definitely don't have permission to do that right
Sure.
now.
Okay.
I would have to get permission to do that. But there are some people who don't want to like medicate, and so they want.
No, a lot of those pills
holistically.
turn you into zombies.
Right.
Like, you can't function.
So I would really love when we lived, and this is something that probably would be awesome for our area.
Yeah.
But when we were in around Fort Carson area, they had so many programs that took you out into nature and did really cool stuff with you.
Yeah.
Nature is so healing.
And like and Darryl loves that stuff, man. Like if he could live off the grid, if there were ever a bearded grizzly man out in the woods who could survive on the land, it would be Darryl, and he would thrive. There was a commercial like from the football game yesterday, and it the Super Bowl, but
the football game,
the Super Bowl, and they were talking about like these families being in control of whether people got extracted like from the wilderness or whatever, and he looks over at me, he goes, "Don't you ever push that button. You leave me there. Don't show the world that I can't handle something." And that honestly, like this discussion of like the PTSD vibe, like the vibes, those are the vibes. Like, you know, these people believe I say these people, men and women, but like specifically in our lives, these men believe that they can't not accomplish. They can accomplish anything.
No, yeah.
They will. And they will
absolutely.
like overcome, and that whole mindset.
It's their mindset,
is lovely because you're unstoppable, but also you have to like heal on the way there too.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I wish locally we had some resources where they could like go together to do things. You know, I think they did like fly fishing and like hunting. And, they did like
there's stuff for them to do. You
know, just activities.
So like the word says, like if you're going to do good, like you don't do good to advertise it basically. Like you do good because it's in your heart. So like I'm not saying this as a plug, but this is just kind of where my mind goes with that. So when people buy houses with me, and it's not known, but like when people buy houses with me, a donation from my commission is made to companies that help people with PTSD.
But okay,
so
it would be, where's a list of companies that help with PTSD?
Yeah,
because I would love that list to be quite honest
with you. With you.
Yeah, for real.
I would love to be able to have something like that here.
Because I don't.
That is really.
I think people
because
don't
most
understand.
of them are on like a more national platform.
Yeah.
Instead of local. And now they can do things locally, but it's like they're bigger picture. Like bigger picture people. They're not just helping people here.
Right.
Yeah. We have a ton of people here.
We have a ton
No,
of
I'm excited. I'm intrigued because my mind's already
so
over
if
here like, okay,
wants
let's
to
do something and take them on a fly fishing trip. Or let's take them on an offshore fishing trip in Hackberry. How can we raise the money? You know, like...
So if anyone wants to invest in helping
let's
veterans.
take these vets on a trip.
Thing. Like, it can't just be like a once a year thing that, like, you know, they look forward to. Like, it needs to be like
all
the time.
We have an awesome area actually to do things like that because there is such a wilderness
and even
area
like,
here.
I notice, and we could have an entire podcast about this topic, but like I notice when they have a mission.
Yeah.
Oh, so like the clarity is there. Because like when they get out, there's no more mission anymore.
There's a structure. There's a you know.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like even if you had those things where they could go do like extracurriculars outdoors or whatever, like putting them in charge of one of them. Oh my gosh. Like, Darryl would thrive. He'd be like, all right, so now we're going to create our own energy source from running water.
And if you don't, drop and give me 50.
You can see this. Like, you know. Like, putting them in charge of something.
D would have the biggest smile.
He would. Yes. He'd be like, oh, you're suffering? It's like basic all over again. I like it.
I like it.
Literally.
Awesome.
Yeah, but I would love that. You're going to have to update me on like a list because I really am interested. Because people think like this is an everyday thing. Like we don't just like, it's not just something that flares up once in a while. It's like an everyday thing.
Yeah.
And like, especially when you're married, there needs to be resources for people who are married to folks with PTSD and understanding like the triggers, how to like cope. Like, because, you know, I know, like, there were ways I could approach it, and then there are ways that I should not approach it. And you don't know until you know. Yeah. Unfortunately. And you, like,
and everybody's different.
Yeah. So I'm super excited for, like, all the things to come.
I am, too.
Yeah. Okay. So, this will drop on Thursday.
Yes.
So I'm super excited about it. We're going to tell all of our friends. And
Caitlin, I want you back already.
I know.
I was so nervous.
So
if you know me, I get sweaty palms.
Yes,
and my palms have been so sweaty sitting here because I was like, I hope I don't sound
it's just a conversation. It's
I've seen a couple of eye switches over here where you're like,
probably because she didn't know if I was. What are you gonna say, Brittany?
Yeah, but they kind of kind of were along those, and she would just that look.
Yep.
And
I'm like, I want this to be good for you. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
you've done great.
Like,
well, this was supposed to be. This is fun for us.
Yeah.
Like this is supposed to be because I do businessy things all the time.
yeah.
And we have our events every month, and people come shopping, which I love, and we have like the most amazing conversations.
Yeah.
But I also like, I'm 36 now, not to drop an age, but I'm getting older, and
I am 29.
Yeah, listen, and when I met you, you were like
I was probably 29.
you.
Wait, are you really 29?
No.
Oh.
I feel 29.
I just turned 33.
Oh,
See?
I was saying twinsies because
Yeah.
we're both 29.
I mean, I could be 29.
But,
so 6 years ago, I was like 20.
You said you're 33.
Mm-hmm. So I was like 27.
27.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
I don't know. You said you
I
were
said
36.
it's going to drop on Thursday. This is my ADHD.
the podcast. Drop it on Thursday.
Oh, doing fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I work all the time.
Yeah.
And like I'm like I need some fun things. So we
Yeah.
started like we're doing a bunko night for the shop upstairs.
It's so fun.
I'm not making any money off of that.
Right.
That's not like
No.
I'm not doing
Yeah.
that for that.
It's for community.
I don't do this for that.
Yeah.
Like I'm a girl who I probably need hobbies, and this is probably like other people learn to knit. I start a podcast.
We have to have an outlet. We got a lot up here and in here, and we got to get it out somewhere.
So this is just so fun, and honestly,
is.
I love being able to like have people on here like you,
Yeah.
And then we get to like share things with the world because
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
like we're as human beings, we're so intrusive. Like we want to know things that we're not
Everything.
supposed to know.
Well, like, and I want you to succeed. Like,
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
another thing. It was like, I'm her first guest. Like,
Yeah, and
what an
Caitlin's the
honor.
first one.
What an honor, but also, like, what a pressure. Because, like, I want this to be good for you. Like, I want it to keep
Yeah.
going.
Oh, me too. And I like, and the sponsorships, like I could sponsor an episode easily
Sure.
Yeah.
myself and just be like, sponsored by Jeremy. But like everything is Jeremy all the time.
Right.
So I would love for another business to like get 30
Yeah.
seconds of airtime.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's on Spotify.
I know.
Apple,
It's like a big deal.
This is
Literally, it's like
This
I
could
told-
reach national, like,
This
Right.
morning I was
Avenues.
getting dressed and I was like, oh, I'm just putting a little more effort in this morning. I feel like last week I kind of just
And I did the opposite.
I know. So, and I was like, and Brittany looked a little more put together. So it's Valentine's week. Like, wow. And he's like, you're talking into a microphone. I said, baby, we have a YouTube channel. And he was like,
We do have a
"Oh."
YouTube channel, but I haven't figured it out yet because I tried to upload our video and it's too long.
It's okay. But you know what? Our video plays on Spotify.
But once I do figure out the YouTube, because I didn't hire anybody for this because this is a passion project.
Yeah.
This is not something we make money
Learning
off
as
of.
you
No.
go.
So yeah, this is a DIY thing. So once I figure out YouTube and like, man, we're going to be unstoppable.
Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait.
Okay, well, thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you for
For
having
coming
Thank
me.
you for
guesting
being our first guest
on episode 2
That's
of
awesome.
Big Girl Britches podcast.
Yes.
So you guys need, like, and only because we're in the studio that we are, you guys need, like, a big record that people can, like, sign when you have guests on.
Oh,
Dylan.
on it, he said, and we'll just make you sign it.
This
since-
brain is full of all kinds of ideas.
I love
See,
it.
this is why I love
No, I've already
collaborating.
got an idea from you to do today is reach out. Hey, thank you for referring people to me.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do that now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Just something cool for y'all to have. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it'll show your growth, because you're going to grow. I'm speaking
Yeah.
into existence.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so
You are too.
excited. I want to learn all the things.
Me
She
too.
asked me, we were talking about having another guest on in a couple weeks, and she's like, should I research this before? And I said, absolutely not.
No, you just go with the flow.
No, I don't. I want to ask questions like, because people who are not local and don't have like the
Right.
Yeah.
the nitty gritty 411, they need context and they're gonna have questions.
Yeah.
So I want to be like
Neutral.
that. Yeah.
I have no
we want to
info.
ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm super excited to learn all about things and have other people, because people who don't know you or don't know Lacey or don't know me, like they're gonna watch this and be like, I had no idea those girls are so cool.
I had a question to ask Caitlin
Oh.
that I planned and
I have
never
an
asked.
answer.
Okay. Of all the hats you wear, aside from mom and wife, because those take top tier,
Oh, okay.
of the other hats you wear, which one would you choose to do forever?
Okay.
Like, no monetary value. Like, money's off the table.
A hat, like a responsibility.
Like a responsibility. So your jobs or like
Yeah.
the things that you volunteer in.
Yeah.
If you had to choose one of those aside
I know
from
what it
motherhood
is.
and wives
Do
to
you?
do forever, monetary value doesn't matter. What are you doing?
Do you have a leadership position at church?
I do.
I would say it's that probably.
So, and that's what, okay, so I go to First North. It is
Yeah.
a campus of First Moss Bluff, here in Ritter. So I serve on Sundays in the student kid ministry. Let me get my phrases right. Kid ministry. I actually teach a kindergarten through second grade class.
Aw.
And I had a lot of reserves about that at first because I was like, am I really going to be teaching these kids? Like, am I going to like teach them something? It is the most rewarding job. Like, those kids are awesome. And then we just launched a student ministry, which is 6th through 12th grade. We meet on Wednesday nights. And so like my son, he's in 6th grade. So this is like the perfect fit for him.
Yeah.
And I actually help lead the small group. It's like our Bible study for high school girls. So
I love that.
I get to connect with girls and like,
Yeah.
so
that's
it's
a rough age.
I would do
That's good.
I would do that every day, all day for the rest of my life. Like, it is super rewarding. Like, I have left in tears some nights, some days, like just of like the pure, like I just feel everything and like how awesome it is.
If those girls are ever having a hard time and you think they need like a salon to, even if it's just like shampoo or something, let's set something up.
That's awesome. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Just
It's like
to, like,
washing
pour
feet,
into
but
them.
washing hair.
Yeah, you got to pour into these
Legit.
babies because they're our future leaders.
Well, and sometimes
you know?
like you're all they have.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
so it's
I love that. Oh,
I
love that.
I had to pray about it. Like, I didn't think I was going to be good
That's
enough.
Pressure.
Like,
You
in
think
all,
this is
like,
pressure? That's pressure.
That's pressure.
But it's like what I look forward to every week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sunday morning
Yeah.
at 9:30. That's when I have the those K through 2nd, and then Wednesday nights at 6. Like, I have that, and it's
that's so
I would do
awesome.
that
and
10
they're
times
always
over
so happy to see
all the
you.
time. Yeah.
Always so happy. I work our church nursery, and so they're little babies, and we do teach them a little lesson.
That's where I started, was the babies, like up to 16 months.
But,
because it was like, I don't have to teach them.
Yeah,
it's okay.
I don't have to teach
like,
them.
just
I
love
just
on
keep
them.
them
I didn't have
alive.
the confidence.
But there's some
Yeah.
Sundays I'll sit on the floor and I get with them. Like,
Yeah.
I stand all day for work. I'm sitting on the floor. And they'll just climb up in your lap because they just need extra love.
Yeah.
And you're like, you don't know what they went through.
I know,
Come
yeah,
here,
absolutely.
baby.
Aw,
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
So yeah, no, thank you. That was a good question.
That was a good question. I already knew the answer.
You did know the answer.
I did. I figured. I was like, oh, I didn't know if you had a
Now
leadership
look,
position.
I love
but-
the chamber, and I love growing this community. Like, I would do that all the time too, but like
it's-
that
You're
is
growing a
I
community
think
up there.
there's
Yes.
a reason why
Yeah.
y'all have. It was like 3-year terms that you serve on the board.
Yeah.
I think there's a reason why there's a limit, because that's a lot.
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
And I think people probably at the end of 3 years, they're like, thank God that's over, because it's a lot of work.
So you're
It's
president
gratifying.
for 3 years.
No.
after-
So
No,
I'm president
no.
this year.
Your term on the board as a whole
Is a 3-year term.
is 3 years.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
you only serve as president for 1 year. Like, they already know who's the next one is Shane McLemore.
Yeah.
Is going to be the next
And
president.
next year I'll be past president.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And you did 2 years before this or 1 year before this?
2.
2? So you've got.
So you're like a regular board member for 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 3
Okay.
years.
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
So you'll serve 4 years total because you are president.
5
for-
if you count past president. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
that's a lot.
I think we're done on time because I was about to dive into a whole chamber
Probably so.
question.
What were you going to ask?
So, like, after your 4 years, you're just done with the chamber? Like, you
You're
can't
still
be
a
a part
member.
of this?
No,
Okay.
no, yeah, I can still be a part.
Just not on the board.
I'm, like, I'm not in.
okay,
I wouldn't be
okay.
in leadership in a sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay,
but I can
okay.
still come and do like all the grand openings and stuff. Like, I can still come and do all of that
Yeah.
still. Like, help out
Right,
with
not
events.
that
like,
they
we
just,
can
like,
probably
shun
do
you,
a
but
4-hour episode with Caitlyn.
Probably. That's why I'm like, I
Between
can't wait to have you
all
back.
the work stuff and
Yeah.
like PTSD stuff and like chamber stuff and church stuff, we could probably sit here and like shoot the
yeah.
shiz for like 4 hours.
Probably so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but we can't.
I know, but there's also another episode.
We could do this again.
Maybe
for it.
we'll have like a star, our all-star guest,
Yeah,
and have them back.
we could.
Did you
add
just call me an all-star?
an all-star? We can
Hey,
add to
now.
our Google
You're an
form and
all-star.
say like, who is your favorite past guest?
Yes.
And they could fill out who their favorite past
You
guest
have big
was.
shoes to fill, future guest.
You don't. They're a 5.5.
Oh, that was cute. That was cute. So if anyone wants to send her some fresh Nike sneakers.
5.5 women.
5.5
or 7
women.
in kid. No, 6. No, what size is that in kids?
Oh, I don't
I've
know.
been buying
Like a
kids shoes.
4?
I'm a size 8.5, and I can wear a 7 in you.
I think it's like a 4.
What?
It saves me a bunch of money in
Yeah.
Nikes.
I've been buying men's. I can wear like a 7 in men's.
Yeah.
I have
So you're like a 9?
foot, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
9 or
Mhm.
10.
So it saves you some cash.
Well,
Look,
I
we
don't
just
think
gave us
that
cost savings tip.
I don't think that I can buy kids shoes anymore.
You can,
not.
because you're a
Okay.
size 9. Like, get a 7 in kids.
Okay.
Youth 7.
Oh.
You'll be fine. I have a pair. I'll
I
bring
need
a
to
pair
try
for you
that.
to decide. Okay. And now we have to get off.
Okay.
We love you guys.
Bye.
Thank
See
you for
next
tuning
week.
Big Girl Britches.
Big Girl
Podcast.
Britches.
Bye, guys.
Bye.